heart of America. I'm Steve Gruber, your soldier of truth, your tip of the spear, fighting for you from the foxhole of freedom, asking the questions you wish you could, giving you better analysis and defending this great nation than anyone else. This is the Steve Gruber Show. Here are 3 big things you need to know to start this hour. Number one, the nitwits that call themselves environmental justice warriors have new targets today. Your small truck, your SUV, and of course your light bulbs. They may be home, but their lights are not on. Number two, leprosy is on the rise in Florida. You heard me right, leprosy, which is historically uncommon in this country. It's really bizarre. Where do you think this comes from? Think about it. I'll get you back with an answer. And number three, last week it was water heaters, portable generators. This week it's light bulbs, SUVs, and pickup trucks. Of course, not long ago it was your gas stove, and before that your toilet, dishwasher, and washing machine. Oh, and I almost forgot farmers. Farmers are now among the most reviled and dangerous people in the world because farming, especially meat and milk, are killing the planet. At least that is the delusion they are peddling in the left-wing socialist circles, the circles of doom. These are all the enemies, and Donald Trump is the enemy every single day. Really, this is just the latest from the left and the attack on everything. They hate everything about Western civilization. They hate the appliances you have. They really hate the freedoms you have to pick the appliances you put in your house. They hate the cars, the trucks, the SUVs you put in your driveway. They hate the food that you put in your mouth. And they really, really hate the thoughts they cannot control inside your head. They hate the freedom of speech and the freedom of religion. They hate that you think you should be the parent of your own children or grandchildren. And they really hate that you have the God-given right to self-defense and the right to keep and bear arms. In fact, they hate the entire U.S. Constitution and think they know better. They know better how it should be written, how it should be replaced. They hate the idea that you have the ability to reject their complete irrational overreach and reject their socialist and globalist agendas. They hate that you can think for yourself. Boy, do they hate that. Because they hate critical thinking and the ability to evaluate and then make the most logical, rational decisions for you and your family and your country. Face it. They hate most of you. So they keep thinking up ever more crazy ideas of how to frighten you into falling to your knees, because their attack on everything is really just an attack on the individual, you and me, and our individual God-given rights. One of the most dishonest and persistent attacks comes from the so-called environmental justice warriors. It's under the fallacy of climate change. Climate change will kill us. We're all going to be boiled to death. This is how light bulbs, generators, pickup trucks, and hamburgers have all become targets for them to destroy by attacking you and those things. The attack on everything was called out by Senator John Kennedy because, you see, the left has no idea what they're talking about, whether it's the environment or Donald Trump or anything else. Listen to this.
If we spend $50 trillion to become carbon neutral in the United States of America by 2050. You're the Deputy Secretary of Energy. Give me your estimate of how much that is going to reduce world temperatures.
So first of all, it's a net cost. It's what benefits we're having from getting our act together and reducing all of those climate benefits. We're seeing.
Let me ask again. Maybe I'm not being
country.
clear. If we spent $50 trillion to become carbon neutral by 2050 in the United States of America, how much is that going to reduce world temperatures?
This is a global problem. So we need to reduce our emissions, and we need to do everything we can.
How much, if we do our part, is it going to reduce world temperatures?
So we're 13% of global emissions.
You don't know, do you? You don't know, do you?
You can do the math. We need to.
You don't know, do you, Mr. Secretary?
So we're 13% of global.
If you know, why won't you tell me?
If we went to zero, that would be 13%.
You don't know, do you? You just want us to spend $50 trillion, and you don't have the slightest idea whether it's going to reduce world temperatures.
They don't have the slightest idea of what any of this is going to do. And remember, they're supposed to be the smart ones. I know they tell you so every day. They are the ones who brag about their Ivy League degrees and how smart they are. And yet, they're also the ones who can't tell you what a woman is, or a man for that matter. Seriously, how smart could they really be? These people have been making stark, raving, mad predictions with a zero rate of success for years. And yet they keep right on going. despite being utterly and totally wrong every single time. How about this? Al Gore and John Kerry made big predictions in the year 2009 about the destruction of our planet. I want to refresh your memory. Remember this?
There is a 75% chance that the entire North Polar ice cap during some of the summer months could be completely ice-free within the next 5 to 7 years.
You have sea ice, which is melting at a rate that the Arctic Ocean now increasingly is exposed. In 5 years, scientists predict we will have the first ice-free Arctic summer.
0% chance. That's what we got there. 0% chance. None of that happened. It's really amazing. The war on everything is based on nothing at all. It's based on computer models and theories that over and over again get proven completely wrong. And yet they keep right on coming, don't they? They do. I mentioned the pickup trucks are now in the crosshairs. And they're going to get attacked by way of mileage. That's right. Government fuel standards are going to be foisted upon SUVs and light-duty trucks in a far more aggressive way than small cars, all in an effort to force people to accept Joe Biden's demand that 75% of us buy electric cars by 2032. Just 8.5 years from now. Do you want an electric car? Because where I live, I don't. It's unreliable. I can't go far enough. And this is just one of the attacks on everything, using the big lies of climate change. Another one will be unleashed under the guise of global health and directed by the World Health Organization. Dr. Meryl Nass explained in late July how the World Health Organization has suddenly received a massive amount of power over sovereign nations around the world, and she's warning anyone that will listen. So listen.
The WHO is developing through all its nations, but with the WHO Directorate in the United States in charge, a pandemic treaty and amendments to the existing international health regulations that will remove the human rights protections currently embedded in the IHRs, will enforce surveillance, censorship, get rid of freedom of speech, require governments to censor and only push a single narrative. Also, we will be subject, if they can make this work, to vaccines developed in 100 days, which the organization CEPI is planning to do. And one of the people who founded CEPI was Jeremy Farrar, who is now the chief scientist at the WHO, to bring this forward.
Yep, they just want to shut it all down. The attack on everything means the attack on you. I'm not done here. The globalists want to destroy the American way of life and destroy all liberal democracies, Western civilization, burn it all down. Burn it all down. And that's why you have these constant attacks on Donald Trump and politics and free speech as well. They hate free speech. I'll get into that a little deeper after the break. Are you ready to learn a little something? Good. It's the Steve Gruber Show.